privacy isn't about something to hide. It's about something to protect. Privacy is the right to the self, the foundation of all other rights. Freedom of speech doesn't mean very much. What it is that you actually think and figure, is this a good idea, is this a bad idea? Freedom of religion, the same thing. You either inherit a religion or you accept it from the state, but you don't know what it is for yourself. And moreover, right, privacy is not intended for the majority. Politicians don't need privacy. They're already powerful. They can already defend themselves. The majority can reshape society to their will. They don't need it that much. Vulnerable populations, people who are a little bit different, people who are a little bit unusual, people who don't fit in, even in a small way, you are the one that privacy is for. If you have nothing to hide, you have nothing to fear. That's no different than saying, you don't care about free speech because you have nothing to say. It's an antisocial argument. It doesn't matter what happens to my rights because I'm okay right now. I'm not different. I'm not interesting, and I don't need to be. And what you're saying is, I don't want freedom. I don't want liberty. I just want to be. And while you might agree with that, I think we can be better. I think the rights that we inherited are a blessing, something that we should protect and defend and ensure that not just this generation, but every other generation enjoys that and more. I think the fact that we have so many people joining us throughout the internet, I think the fact that we have so many people talking about this election and its implications for the world says that people do care. It's not that, people think, Donald Trump is the greatest person in the United States. It's the fact that maybe they did not prefer the other option. We need to work cooperatively. We need to work together to build institutions that don't think about candidates, but instead give us a world that we design, that we build, that we realize step by step. You don't just elect a politician with a vote, or if you disagree, if you're in the minority, or in the case of the United States, Hillary Clinton won the popular vote. The challenge here is that does not end the extent of your involvement. You are more than a vote. You are more than a check in a box. If you don't start thinking about the day after the election, the year after the election, and every other, you are not thinking about what being a citizen truly means. A lot of the conversation that's happening politically, particularly in the field of privacy, is an expert conversation. We're being excluded from it because it's too hard, it's too difficult. It takes a lot of study and understanding of obscure technology or arcane mathematics. And the idea here is you can't be expected to dedicate all of this time, all of this study. What you can do is that you say you care, and then you can act to make sure that those people who are experts have the ability, they have the platform, they have the resources, they have the support to actually achieve it. Support an organization that will. Send money to a group that has a history of standing up for civil liberties. Send money to groups that will actually sue governments to enforce the law. And when the law fails, support technology, corporations, groups, and individuals who are trying to enforce your rights directly through science, through math, through technology, to ensure that any government anywhere must respect your rights, because no amount of violence, no amount of military force will ever solve a math problem. But the United States government charged me under very specific laws that are quite unusual in the United States. But they have used it increasingly against journalists. James Risen, one of the most famous reporters of the New York Times, called the current president's war on whistleblowers. They said that the Obama White House is the most secretive they've ever dealt with. As long as you let me talk to a jury, I'll come back. Let's have this. Let's have the people decide. They sent back a letter saying, we promise we will not torture you, as I won't stand up and serve as a deterrent willingly to scare people away from doing the right thing. The Supreme Court of the United States was asked by these civil liberties organizations to rule on the lawfulness of these surveillance activities. And they said, it's very interesting, but we can't sign reforms into law. The United Nations found that these programs were a violation of human rights when they have worked in the public service in good faith to reveal activities of public concern. And the question is there a reason that you think I should not be hopeful? I think despite the challenges that we have in the United States, despite changes in government, despite statements made by our new president-elect, This is a nation that will strive to get better, but it is not the end of history. And if we work together, we can build something better, and we can enjoy a more free and more liberal society that benefits everyone, and prove once and for all that America has a greater commitment to justice than it does simply to the law. Now, the president of Russia has previously said on camera that the people of Russia consider me a human rights defender. And regardless of the position that we have on Russian politics, which obviously have a lot of problems, they said Russia is not a country that extradites human rights defenders. If I was worried about safety, was all that I cared about, I would still be in Hawaii. I never expected it to make it out of Hawaii. But the bottom line is this: I'm comfortable with the choices that I made. I'm proud of the choices that I made. I think I did the right thing. And wow, you know, I can't predict what the future looks like. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I think as long as we do our best to live in accordance with our values, we don't have to worry about what happens tomorrow, because today is enough.
Thank you very much, Edwin Snowden.
Thank you.